What is rumination? The term ruminate means to run a thought over and over in your mind. This is the figurative definition. The literal definition refers to cows regurgitating their food to chew it repeatedly. Rumination is not a diagnosis on its own, but it often occurs in conditions like depression and anxiety. In depression, rumination involves repetitive negative thoughts, such as constantly wondering why things never work out or why others seem happier. In anxiety, rumination often focuses on past situations, like overanalyzing interactions and questioning impressions left. In both depression and anxiety, rumination involves repetitive, unhelpful, and negative thinking. This is different from constructive analysis of past situations, where the goal is to process events and problem solve instead of focusing solely on negative aspects. Why does rumination happen? Rumination is thought to be related to the overactivation of the default mode network, DMN, in the brain. The DMN controls stimulus-independent thought, which refers to what your brain does when it is not actively focused on something specific. Functional MRI studies show that the DMN is more active during rumination. People who spend more time with their minds wandering tend to feel unhappier, linking this process to negative thinking patterns. What's the difference between rumination and intrusive thoughts? Intrusive thoughts are uninvited thoughts that pop into your mind and interrupt your current thinking. These thoughts are usually ones you actively try to avoid. Rumination, on the other hand, involves thoughts you settle into and brood over. Even though these thoughts might make you feel bad, you are not necessarily trying to avoid them. In some cases, you might even feel the need to think about them, believing they are necessary to work through certain issues. How to address rumination? One way to combat rumination is through mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being fully present in your current experience without judgment. By focusing on what you are currently doing and how it affects your five senses, you engage in dependent thought, which shuts off the default mode network. This active engagement helps pull you out of rumination. For more guidance, you can check out my video on mindfulness, which also includes a body scan audio download. Another effective approach is creating an if-then action plan. First, identify outward signs that indicate you are ruminating, such as tension in your neck, fidgeting, or feeling your heart race. Write these signs down to increase awareness. Once you recognize the signs, plan specific actions to distract yourself. For example, if you feel tension in your neck, you could listen to a guided meditation for 10 minutes. If you start feeling lightheaded, you might go for a walk or practice yoga. It's helpful to have a variety of activities to turn to, such as listening to meditations, doing crafts, writing in a gratitude journal, or even completing everyday tasks like grocery shopping. Writing down these if-then scenarios makes them official and helps you focus on actionable solutions rather than staying lost in your thoughts. Additional support. There is a cognitive therapy approach called Rumination-Focused Cognitive Behavior Therapy, RFCBT, that can further help with rumination. This therapy aims to shift your focus from abstract thinking to more concrete thinking. For example, if you are dealing with marital problems and start ruminating on broad negative thoughts like, "Why can't I ever get my needs met?" or "Why can't I be happy like others?" a therapist might help you examine the specific details of the interaction with your spouse. By focusing on what actually happened, you can process the situation constructively and identify ways to handle similar situations differently in the future. Remember, these are just a few strategies to address rumination. You can start with the behavioral approaches and, if needed, seek therapy for more in-depth support. If you found this video helpful, Subscribe to my channel for more mental health topics. See you next time.